The Why Not podcast is back, and we are going to film a show for you. What I need you guys to do, get in the comments. Tell me what you like and don't like about the show. I need you to hit that thumbs up. And most importantly, what I need you to do, I need you to subscribe to this channel. Tell me how you do your work so well. Let's go. All right. We back in the motherfucking building. A lot more energy this time. What's going on, Jason?
Jason Black and this motherfucker.
And your boy D's. And this is the Why Not podcast. Again, I'm going to keep reminding y'all what y'all watching so you know what you're doing. And again, go ahead and subscribe to this shit, man. Get this channel up. Because without y'all, we nothing. So let's go. So what's going on, man?
Man, we feeling good in here today, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Got my cup.
I got my cup. I got my plastic cup. Shout out E40.
40 water.
All day long. One of my dream guests. I can't wait to have that nigga in here, man. He got so much classic music that I want to recite to him while I'm playing it. And it reminds me of when I was in the mall. I was in the mall once. It was actually during the time. Look, I'm going right into it, guys. So if y'all don't know, let me let y'all know what we doing tonight. So we decided to have a show telling stories about the life we have lived, because to us, we have lived a legendary life. And one thing I want to point out, all the stories told today is 100% the truth. Not exaggerated, not putting no extras. Any story that I tell, any story that Jason tells, it is going to be the 100% truth. So know that. So when you picturing these stories in your head and coming up with your own visual, just know all this shit ain't lies. So back to what I was saying. So I was in a mall once, nigga, and I ran into Too Short, and I told him, I said, man, you a legend, Short Dog. I said, nigga, but you got me slapped once. He like, what? And I'm like, yeah. I never forget, nigga. That nigga came out with Dope Fiend beat. Nigga, it was my brother Tate. Rest in peace, Al. Tomorrow, his birthday tomorrow, too.
Rest in peace, Dank.
But I had that nigga Tate, nigga, and I was rocking Dope Fiend beat. And nigga, I know that shit line for line. And as a fucking 6-year-old, I was in my room, and I was rapping that shit hard. H-E-A-D. I need a doctor just for me to suck my dick like a vet, to give me head until I sweat. Nigga, I said, I'm in the third verse at this point. I'm talking about top of my lungs rapping. Nigga, at one point, bam, I just felt a smack to the back of my head. I looked back, and Ma was behind me, my grandmother. And all I kept thinking about was, I wonder how long she been sitting here. Because this was in the 80s when, like, nigga, to hear curse words on tape.
Oh, yeah. And Too Short was one of the most vulgar rappers, too.
Nigga, did you just hear what I said? He said H-E-A-D. Exactly. That nigga said, bitch. That's how the song starts off. Boom, 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 boom. So that's one of the stories I had to get into. So I told Too Short that story exactly how I just told y'all about how, like, my grandma was behind me. And that nigga died laughing. And he said, what'd he say? I think he said something like, that's legendary, gave me dap and bounced off. I was like, yeah, because I called him a legend, so I guess he borrowed the word I used. You know who else was in the mall that day? That was actually during the weekend when Biggie died. Yeah, so it was the Vibe Awards, it was the Vibe. It was something to remember back in the day. It still is like that, but like back in like the Soul Train.
The Source Awards.
The mall, Beverly Center.
Yeah. VMAs.
All that shit. The Beverly Center used to be flooded with celebrities. Yeah. So we made it our point to be in there all the time. And I was with your brother. We in that bitch. And nigga, I'll never forget. So Biggie walking through that bitch with Junior Mafia. We on the 3rd level. And nigga, all you kept hearing was, fuck New York. Fuck Bad Boy. Because nigga, remember, this was 3-4 months after Pac died. So LA was feeling that shit. So when I was in Macy's, I run into Short. But before I stepped to Short, he was having a conversation with Nasty Nas. These niggas have vouched this story. So I sat back and waited, and I remember Nas dapped up that nigga Short and said, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Because the tension was so high in the mall. And like, niggas was on they press. So I'm gonna go ahead. That's the start of this story time, man, and that's one of the ones I love telling because I still to this day bump Dope Fiend beat. Like I fucking love that song, and I love the fact that it got me slapped in the back of the neck when I was a 6 or 7 year old. My mom was like, "What the fuck are you saying?" That's what she said. I'm like, man, this that rap music. Get with it or get over it type shit.
Yeah. Working in the barbershop from a young age, from like 16, 17.
Oh, I love the shop.
And up, like, and this nigga used to be there with me every day.
Every
like,
day.
Wasn't an employee, but was just there with me every day.
I wasn't even getting a haircut. I had hair.
Because it was like an event coming to the shop.
Every
like,
fucking day.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whenever somebody come into the shop, we'd be like, come into the stage. Like,
Yeah.
that's what it was like.
It
like,
was.
It was just nonstop laughs.
It was
nonstop
drama, comedy.
Story, just galore.
Oh my God, some legendary stories.
Die hard LA fans.
LA
like,
niggas all day.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was major. Ton of fun, man. Ton of stories.
All right, that's definitely one of the places where I learned so much shit in that shop. I laughed so hard in that shop. It was just I don't know. I niggas always feel like this, but I remember being in there thinking, this is a movie, and I'm sure everyone thought of that, and Ice Cube took advantage of that.
Yes.
And made Barbershop 1, 2, and 3, I think.
Like, we had the idea of barbershop
Before, yeah.
multiple years before.
But I think he did it the wrong way. He told the square version of a barbershop through Chicago players and them old school niggas.
Yeah.
Had he did like a hood barbershop, like the one you worked at.
Exactly.
Like, tell these niggas about like your last day in the shop. Like,
oh yeah.
you ain't even got to say names if you don't want, but like your last day in the shop, that where you was just fed up.
Oh yeah. After all the put-ons,
Oh, I
the
seen niggas
put-offs,
put off. DPs.
shooting, running out the shop, shooting at cars, like it was wild.
Murders.
Like the day I left, it was 6 niggas fighting in the shop, 3 on 3.
One time.
Yeah, and
Some reputable niggas
exactly,
too.
some reputable niggas,
Some reputable
well
niggas.
known in these LA streets.
Well
But,
known.
like, it was an incident where somebody bumped into somebody's car. They get out. You know, they confronting each other about the little accident or whatever. And one of them, Dope Fiend.
Which is socking somebody when they're not looking, for the people that don't know.
Exactly. For the people that don't know, you just take off on somebody when they not expecting. So he Dope Fiend him, he knock him out. He get up, he like, man, I know y'all from the barbershop. Like, you know what I'm saying? They like, fuck the barbershop. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Whoop-de-whoop.
LA nigga shit, just being extra. Out, right?
You niggas know.
And so, like, it's crazy, like, because both parties was on their way to the shop.
Without even knowing.
Without even knowing.
That's insane.
So, like, I don't remember who got there first, but I think the 3 guys got there first because it was 3 guys, and then it was the one guy, you know, who got Dope Fiend or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
So they come in the shop. I think the 3 guys came in the shop
they
first.
was in there in the
they
street
was in
chairs
there
already.
first,
Yeah, I remember.
And they was like, yeah, we just got into it with a fool, and he was talking about, yeah, I know y'all from the barbershop, this, that, and the other.
Fuck
shop. So he walk in like
the nigga who got Dope Fiend happened to walk in while the guys who Dope Fiend him are sitting in the shop.
It's sitting in the shop.
That's
so
crazy.
He like, I just got into a little fender bender and like they Dope Fiend me, and then he like,
it's him.
Yeah, these guys right here, as a matter of fact. So one of them jump up. He like, yeah, I'm the one that Dope Fiend you. Like, what? You want that fade? So like he look around.
The young nigga.
Yeah, he look around for a second.
He see two of his homies in there.
Like my homies in here. I'm in the barbershop. I can't turn the fade.
He ain't turning no fade down.
He like, oh, like.
What do you say?
So he like, fuck it. He took his chain off. The niggas go to the back.
And
they get the
he hanging with the nigga though.
He hanging with my nigga. Like they, you know, it was a good head up little squabble. Then my other guy, you know what I'm saying, he ended up getting, you know what I'm saying, the best of him or whatever. Start getting him in a chokehold, choking him out, choking him to the ground.
Like he was gonna kill him.
Like he was gonna kill him.
We
like,
thought he was gonna kill him. Like he wasn't trying to put a sleeper hold on him. He was like trying to take his life.
I'm about to take his.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill this nigga.
I'm about to take his last breath.
Yeah, he like that nigga that hit me a few times in my lip.
So like my other two boys that was with him, they trying to get the guys off of him. Like they see that he's trying to
kill the homie. Get up.
Kill the homie. Like get off of him or whatever. He like, man, watch out. So his homies get on those two guys. So that's how all six guys start.
Six niggas fighting at one time inside of a business.
Yeah, inside of a business. I just went and started packing.
Why they in the middle of fighting?
Yeah, while they in the middle of fighting, I'm packing my shit up. They
rolling up your cords and shit.
Rolling my shit up. Like, man, I'm out of here. Like,
yeah.
And they was like, damn, they thought when I left I said I'm out of here. They thought I meant for the day, like I'll be back tomorrow. I'm like, nah.
That nigga never came back.
Like, I'm good. I never came back. The next day, I was painting walls.
And that's that's real shit because like,
facts.
Like if you know Jay from the barbershop, half you niggas here know in the city. Jay was one of the top barbers in LA. So like, when he left, niggas couldn't believe it. They're like, nigga, Jay leaving the shop, nigga. Like, and it was like, them niggas didn't understand the stress of being an employee there and having to deal with that shit every day. It's like, nigga, Jay here to make money. You're not here to see niggas get put on gangs, put off gangs, DP'd, and like shooting. It got to a point to where it was overwhelming, and I don't blame you because I remember when you stopped, you got in the union and got me in the motherfucking union, and it worked out fine for both of us. But so I'm gonna stay on the shop because so many of these stories.
I remember, they were saying one of my guys from the shop was like, damn. Jay act like he never seen a fight before. And I'm like, no, I seen one too many. Like, I'm at work, bruh. You feel me? Like, I understand, like, this is niggas' hood and all of that. And it was a mutual respect and stuff like that. But at the same time, it was hood business going on. It was hood
all day. It was hood all day.
And we was right in the middle of it.
Right in the middle.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
2 blocks away from Crenshaw.
Like it was just one too many fights for me. One too many shootings. Like niggas would get into it in the shop, whip out pistols while kids and shit in there. Parents running out with their kids, running past their cars. Like damn, bro. Like
ain't that your Buick?
Like it was crazy.
No, it was, and I didn't blame you. But like, I'm gonna stay on the shop because, like you said, I was there every day, man, and every fucking day it was a story. But one of the days when I wasn't there, I'm at the homie house, right, and it was like, this was like a certain Air Max came out. Like this is before shit was selling out, and it was that purple like Air Max. I can't remember what the name of the motherfuckers. I should have researched it, but like everybody was getting them. Boom, I bust them. The homie bust them. The bitches was busting them. And I'm at the homie house in Ladera at the apartments. I forgot what they was called, but like we at the pool area and shit. And I ain't gonna say the homie name who is the part of the story, but you know who you are. But I'm at the homie Keith dad house, and then the other homie come over there, and me and Keith got them fresh ass Nikes on, and the homie, he thirsty, but he ain't really having no money like that, and he wanted them bitches, but he couldn't get them. So next thing you know, boom, a few hours later, the nigga, he leave and shit. Boom. The nigga walk in, he got them motherfuckers on. I'm like, oh shit, God. I almost said his name. Oh shit, nigga, you got them bitches. He like, yeah, nigga, I done came up. As a matter of fact, call your boy, nigga, I need an ounce of weed. I said, most definitely. I called Jay. Because I already know somebody at that motherfucking shop got weed. And I'm going to say who it is because this nigga's an LA legend and I want to give respect because he He loved Jay. And anybody that knew I was his people showed me the same love. And it was Lil Draws from 60s. And if you know Lil Draws, that nigga was a terrorist out here. Big old nigga.
The definition of a silverback.
The definition of a silverback. Big old hands, knocking shit out. Yeah. Really with that shit. So
all the way with
Jay happened to be in the shop with Lil Draws. So he like draws. You got an ounce draws? Like, of course. So Jay tell me, pull up. So this is so crazy. I pull up to the shop. And I see Draws across the street, and he talking to this girl, and she obviously crying, and he got that I'm a destroyer nigga look in his face. Next thing you know, I pull up all smiling. I'm Draws, what's up? All young and innocent. And the broad he whipped point at the car. I'm like, huh? And that nigga turned that energy over to us. Nigga start marching over there. He knocked on the window. The homie was in the back seat. Boom, 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 boom. Get out. And he just walked off. Like, and you know me, I'm in the front seat. I'm confused as fuck. I'm like, why is the biggest gangster on the street aggressive? He on the homie right now. Come to fucking find out. The homie who didn't have money for the shoes at the beginning of the day, who all of a sudden now had money for the shoes and weed, was in the car with one of the homegirls. She was going to pay some bills. She got out the car. This nigga went in her fucking purse and took all the money in her purse. Not only did he take her money, he went and bought shoes and then tried to buy weed. So happened the girl is close or related to Draws. So happened when I called to get the weed he was buying with the stolen money was weed coming from Draws. So this is really what 6 degrees of separation is. Out of all people to call, out of all people to have it, out of all people to be standing in that spot when I pulled up, it worked like that. And the only reason why he didn't sock a hole through this nigga's face, one, is because he was in the car with me, and it wasn't just because of me. It was because I'm his folks. So he had to get that money up. He went in that nigga pocket, whatever he had in there, and he was still a few hundred short and said, nigga, you better have this money. And the only thing, there's 2 things I really remember about that story. I usually can remember what I wear. That's how good my memory is. I can't remember any of that, but the 2 things I do remember is the look on Draw's face when he was walking over there and the look on the homie face when he was going through his pocket and like saying, nigga, if it wasn't for these niggas, I'd be on you. And like the homie, you know, we all knew of them niggas, but we had a personal relationship with him. So the homie knew Draws. He knew all the rah-rah shit. So he had that look like, please don't hit me. Please. But he knew he deserved to get hit.
Oh, yeah.
He deserved to get hit.
He did.
That was kind of like some fuck shit. And like, boy, I on that ride back to Ladera, I was just like, my nigga. I said, you should have told me. Then I wouldn't have thought it would have ended like that. But like, I would have probably went to a square nigga. But I didn't even know the broad was one of the broads that be, you know, she wasn't a local at the shop. She was like one of them ones that lived on 8th Ave. Like, exactly. She was a real one. Like, and this was his, like, a girl he called sis.
Just to put it all the way in perspective for you, just in case you missed it, his boy got a ride from the homegirl, which he robbed. He told him to call me to get an ounce of weed from my boy that was next to me that was next to her. So the person he robbed from, he pulled right up on them he pulled right up on the person that he robbed unknowingly. Like, it
unbeknownst.
It was the biggest coincidence and like the wildest shit ever. Like,
and this is not no regular nigga. We talk, like I said, we are talking about Little Draws, original Neighborhood 60. And if you don't know, that is Big U's little brother. So that just let y'all niggas out there that don't know who we talking about, who we are talking about. This nigga was a real one. And one of them intimidating looking niggas. One of them niggas you like, if you're an enemigo, you see him walking up and you like, you definitely you're not squabbing. You're not squabbing with that nigga because you're like, what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do again? That's like if I'm in the woods and I run into a bear. And like trying to stand my ground. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do against a bear? And that's how my nigga was. I miss that nigga. He was so fucking cool. He cool. He was a cool dude, man. Rest in peace. Cool. And that's one of them shop stories where like you had to be there. So I'm trying to paint this picture as vivid as possible. But like you can't get the gist of it without being there, but like we trying our best for you to feel it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Damn, the shop was on fire, man.
Yeah, it was on fire. It was
what
crazy.
About that one time when Wimp, from 40s, Big Wimp.
Oh yeah.
This crazy. This is like, I don't know if you ever watched Black Mirror or what's that movie where niggas saw death? It was like where niggas what was that shit? It was a movie where you escape death. Yeah, a nigga sleeping on the plane, he saw the plane crash and he woke up and told but get out the plane. It really happened.
Yeah, no, that's
yeah, what's that shit called? Final Destination shit, some final. Thank you, Editor Cole. Jay has the Final Destination shit that happened one day at the shop, man. What the fuck happened?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like,
you got to give the full story about you being on the curb. All that shit.
Yeah, it was a slow day at the shop, so I'm chilling in front of the shop, sitting on a little stump out there, and I'm reading the magazine, like I'm totally off guard. Like,
Bill Plaschke.
Yeah. So the homegirl walk outside, she like, Jay, you want to smoke? I'm like, hell yeah. She like, get a blunt. So I hop up.
Just soon as she said get a blunt, you hopped up like, I'm going right across the street.
The store was directly across the street from the
6th
shop.
Ave.
So
6th Ave Liquor.
I hop up to go get a blunt from the store across the street. Soon as I got in the middle of the street,
before you even
here
cross
comes
it,
a fucking big ass Blazer. Go up on the curb, boom.
Exactly where you were sitting.
It hit exactly where I was sitting at. Like, so the homegirl Lauren, shout out to Lauren, LTS. She saved my life.
So
like,
if you didn't jump up that second to get the blunt, you'd have been underneath that Blazer.
I would have got crushed by that. I would have got creamed by that Blazer. But like,
what happened?
The crazy part about it was like, the homie was out there talking to his wife.
The homie
he was
went.
Talking to his wife. The homie went, and the truck when it I get the guy
hopped the curb.
Yeah, he fell asleep. It hopped the curb and it hit Wimp. Like right in the middle
where he was standing.
Yeah, right in mid conversation with his wife. Bam! It just swipes him. Bam! And pin him up against the building. And,
did it go through the shop? It didn't go through the shop. It pinned him outside of the shop.
It pinned him up
against the wall that said Morris Barber.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
It pinned him up against the wall. Like it was wild. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was crazy.
And
it just so happened to jump the curb exactly where you were sitting.
Exactly.
You could walk out. You walk and in the middle of the street. So it jumped where you was, and instead of hitting you, it missed you and hit Wimp.
It hit Wimp
with his back turned while he's talking to his wife, and it pinned him against the wall,
right where I was sitting at.
And I'm gonna add on to that story because,
like, yeah, that was
man,
crazy.
That shit it hit him so hard that like.
Oh yeah, it hit somebody.
It turned his legs.
Yeah, it turned
backwards.
It turned his
whole bottom half was contorted.
Was contorted. Yes.
Like his back, his front is facing this way, but his feet is that way.
Exactly.
This is what we're witnessing.
Exactly.
After he just escaped death, we watched a nigga get pinned against the wall, and his body instantly starts swelling up, and it's just like, what do you do? How do you react? It's just like that. Yeah. That's life in the blink of an eye, and you watching that shit, and you like, God damn. You thankful that you just got missed, but you also heartbroken because like, damn, this nigga right there.
That took the homie life.
It took him. He died, man.
That
he died.
Killed him, man. Yeah.
This is Like, I can sit here and literally tell all shop stories.
Yeah.
I could. Like, I know that's a fucking sad part because, you know, the nigga got pinned. His wife had to witness that. We had to witness that. And after seeing that, you knew there's no hope.
Yeah.
A nigga pinned against the wall.
Yeah.
A nigga just so happened to fall asleep at that time to hop the curb at that time, escape all parked cars. There's one opening right there. You get through that opening, miss this nigga, hit a nigga, pin him against the wall, and kill him.
It's crazy.
Jesus Christ.
It's crazy how things work because a half a second before or after that particular moment, like he would have completely missed us. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, if
he'd have hit a parked car, that's that's 2 feet away.
Like,
it stopped it.
It was nothing a mile, you know, ahead of us, and it was nothing a mile behind us. Like, you feel what I'm saying? So, like,
God damn.
It was like a bullseye type shit.
And then when people who are really religious say when it's time for you to go, it's your time. Yeah. I look at something like that and I'm like, if it is my time, do I really gotta go out scandalous like that? Like, come on, God. Like, you could have did anything else. Give a nigga a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? To die like that, it's like, God damn, my nigga.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's all still sudden death at the end of the day.
Yeah,
like,
but some sudden death is way different.
Yeah, of course.
You know, that nigga didn't know. First of all, everyone that dies, you don't wake up the day that you die and think you're going to die. We all think we're going to live to see the next day. So Wimp didn't think he was going to die today. But for him to die that way, when he woke up and seen Jesus, I know he had some questions for him. Like, really? Like, come on, bro. Like, that was a little over the top. And he probably looked down at him and said, bro, there's 6 million ways to die. And it's the truth. Like, you know, but on a better note, on a more positive note, I'm going to stick with the shot for a second. One thing about Jay, nigga always had a car. Like, because, you know, we niggas, we didn't stay at home. At all. We was hitting every event. Flyers, that was the thing back then. You giving out flyers and you got a cute bitch.
Every fucking event.
Nigga.
Every event.
We had it all. We had the football games. We had the Bob Marley Fest at UCLA. We at the beach every Sunday, nigga. We spent our whole childhood on Venice Beach every single Sunday. Our whole life.
All of the malls.
All of the malls.
We playing Hollywood. We playing Beverly Hills.
We everywhere.
West LA.
And in order for us to get to these places.
Downtown. We just everywhere.
Everywhere. The Valley. And in order for us to get to these places, we have to have a car. You know, we young at this time. So, like, you know. Super young. We talking about, you know. And Jay always had a car. But back then, you know, nigga, we didn't give a fuck what the car looked like. It's like, what my nigga say, as a 50, bitch, who you fucking? My car or my dick? That's really how we felt. We like, nigga, as long as we can get to where the bitch is at, who gives a fuck what we jumping out of? So Jay always had a little bucket, and we didn't give a fuck, nigga. We pulling up, valeting that motherfucker. I don't give a fuck.
It was everywhere, like.
But I remember
before that, we used to be on the bus.
We was on the bus,
so like,
and bike.
I was happy to just have some wheels, like. So we was out here.
I don't remember what car that was, but I know I was at that motherfucker, dog. We watching the Laker game, and it was time to go home, and this nigga car wouldn't go and drive. That's when the tranny go out.
What happened was my exhaust had fell.
Ooh.
My exhaust had.
It was teetering in the front.
So
it was scraping.
So like, if I drove it forward,
it would just push back
and just rip off the whole exhaust. So I had to drive in reverse to drag it instead of going against.
And let me tell y'all, like, this is no exaggeration, man. If you fucking know LA, we on Vernon. We on Vernon and 6th Ave. We lived off of Washington and Western. I don't know if you niggas know the distance from that, but you gotta go Vernon, King, Jefferson, Adams, Western. Those are main streets I'm naming. Them ain't blocks. These is main roads. So you got to go down 10 blocks
about
to get
all the in between. Yeah. In between that.
Just put it like this. We had to go from like the 40s, mid 50s to the 20s. Nigga, this nigga drove us home in complete reverse the whole time. Nigga, was it the top? Was we top down?
Nah,
we weren't top down. Shout out to Big Key.
Yeah, I had a little RX-7.
That's what it was. But I'm telling you, I to this day have not laughed that hard. I said, nigga, you really doing this? We slicing down the back streets like this.
I'm in reverse.
That nigga like this. And I'm looking back to make sure he don't hit no shit, so both our heads is turned. We are driving in reverse to get from Vernon to Western. Nigga, we made it.
Vernon to Washington.
Do you niggas understand what I'm saying? You niggas probably drove in reverse for a parking spot. Nigga, this nigga drove in reverse for 23 minutes to get us home. In traffic, down back streets.
Yeah, backed right into the driveway. Right into my parking stall.
Nigga, that shit. I was like, this is the most legendary. I said, niggas ain't gonna believe this. Niggas ain't gonna. And nigga, I'm not even exaggerating, dude. I cried laughing from start to finish because I was like, this shit was so shocking. I'm like, we really doing this.
Like, how the fuck we gonna get
How the
home?
fuck else was it? We wasn't jumping on no bus.
I'm like, nigga, I'm about to drive this motherfucker in reverse. Like, drive it in reverse all the way from here to home? Yes.
And that nigga did. Man, that shit was tight. And like, it's just one of them stories of like, you know, that like, it's one of those stories that just such a big part of our life. And like, it was just it's so many of these little stories like this to like,
yeah.
I know, like I said, I'm trying my best to paint the picture, but just if you just listen to these stories and know these are 100% facts, then maybe you can feel how I felt in the passenger seat watching this nigga drive in reverse. Just think, both our heads is turned, and we are in reverse, driving through. We don't live in the woods, bro. We don't live in the back streets. Nigga, we live in Los Angeles, one of the biggest cities in the world. So, nigga, it's traffic, it's RTDs, MTA buses, it's taxis, it's cars everywhere. And we had to do it in reverse. And we talking about reverse without the backup camera, nigga. Some of you millennium niggas, y'all got these backup cameras. I mean, all my cars is new, except my GTO 67. And when I drive that, or if I drive something that doesn't have the backup camera, it's hard for me now because I'm so used to it.
Exactly.
But like, this is the time when niggas didn't have that. So yeah, our heads was turned, nigga. Without the camera, nigga, we made it. Nigga, we made it.
Wow.
That shit's crazy. What else we got in store? Man, I got so many motherfucking stories, man. It's a story time. Welcome to the Why Not Podcast. Again, hit the like button, subscribe. Make sure you comment, too, because that helps with the algorithm, man. Subscribe to the channel. Why not?
Why not?
Let me see. Oh, shit. What the fuck? What about the time we had Magic Friday? Nigga, we 3 deep. We're 3 cars deep. Nigga, it's at least 9 of us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start naming names. We with Corkscrew. We with Dream, 40 Dream. We with Blast from Trouble. Nigga, I can't even remember everybody. It was a lot of us. We 3 deep. We used to hit Magic Friday, boom, and Ladera, bam, drink. And then we was off to Sunset. We was going to Sunset.
On the Sunset, yeah.
And I'm in the car with this nigga, boom. I'm sitting there, Dream behind him, Blast behind him. And it's a nigga out there drunk. That nigga opened our back seat and jump in.
Exactly.
I pull my strap on the nigga. Dream jump out his car with a strap.
We all had
Corey pulled his strap.
We all had guns. That was the worst mistake he could ever did.
We was going to Swiss him. But it was 2 security guards standing out. that was motherfucking off-duty sheriffs.
Exactly.
And they seen all of us pull our straps, but they only focused on that nigga because they
seen what he did. They seen that he was in the wrong, so they was on him.
I think they was, and they also
say,
they knew, like, let's not even fuck with these niggas. Let's just get this nigga and get out of this situation because we dealing with 9 niggas and 5 straps. Like, let's get this nigga. So they did, nigga, I'm talking about we got big hammers out on that nigga. That's when I had that rubber grip 40. Had that rubber grip on me. Dream had some crazy shit. You had some crazy shit. Corkscrew had a big old something. And we pulled them motherfuckers out ready to work this nigga. Remember how it sounded when we all cocked them motherfuckers? It sounded like a movie. And I looked at the 2 sheriffs. They looked at us and turned their whole attention to the nigga in the back seat. Snatched that nigga out the back.
One word.
They didn't say one word. And we talking about sheriffs, nigga.
That was wild.
That shit was wild. And we pulled off. And that night continued. We went on Sunset. This nigga just bought the new Mobb Deep CD with the Lustrous, the one you love, with the G-Rap. Boom, 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 boom.
Murder Music.
Boom, Murder Music.
But I couldn't think of the name of the CD the last show for the life of me. But
it was Murder Music, and you bought something else. Was it like, was it a Foley Water album too? It was something else.
I had got,
it was Murder Music for sure.
It was Murder Music, and I think it was Scarface. The album was Smile.
The Diary. It was The Diary. And you just bought that, and we pull up in Arco on Sunset and Fairfax, because that's where the bitches used to be, and that's where we was at. We was at wherever the bitches was at. Sunset was cracking. Yeah, and it's bumping in that mother.
LA back then, like Sunset was cracking.
Sunset at that time was like how Crenshaw used to be. Yes, like all the gas stations, we used to just post up. So boom, we on Sunset, and like this is the time where like gang niggas start hitting the Sunset. So we in there, and it was a station wagon that pulled up, and it was like a light-skinned nigga, long-ass braids, a dark-skinned nigga. Just, you could tell, like, these niggas is project niggas. You could always tell a project niggas, and so happened they was, like, great niggas. And they pulled in with the extras, looking all crazy and shit. So now we on point, because they're like, damn, like, these niggas look like they're ready for something. But we ain't paying them no mind, because we there on some other shit. Plus, we all strapped. I ain't worried about no nigga. I got this big old cannon on me. What up? So the homie, rest in peace to Lil Ronnie, Lil Donnie Simpson, man. He was with us that night. And I'll never forget, I got my head in some bitch's Jeep. One of the bitches got her whole body through the sunroof. Jay and Donnie Simpson on the corner, they talking to some bitch. Next thing you know, I just hear some riffing. I'm like, what the fuck? I see a buff nigga hanging out an Escalade, and he pointing. So I'm like, I move in quiet. I said, what this nigga? He said, nigga, I'm about to pull over, nigga, and I'm about to squabble you. Man, Donnie Simpson, nigga, was this big. And like, Jay, you know, and I'm like, this a big. I'm like, nigga, I pulled my gun out and cocked it and pointed it. I said, nigga, you ain't squabbling nothing over here. And when I cocked my cannon, no exaggerating, Corey did, you did, Dream did, and it was the same sound that happened earlier that night at motherfucking Magic, and them bitches in every car in that motherfucker dispersed like roaches. Nigga, when they heard them, nigga, they just, and it took, nigga, when I say it was 45 cars in there, and they all left simultaneously.
No, one of the parts that you left out, like when the nigga was hanging out the car, and he was like,
we gonna get down.
He was like, yeah, I want to take that nigga Fade right there.
That's
and we all like, who this nigga talking about? We like, who? And he like, you talking about me. Talking about he wanted to take my Fade. Like, yeah, I'm about to park and get out. I'm like, yeah, park and get out. Like, let's do it.
I wasn't having none of that.
These niggas, especially this nigga.
I wasn't having none of that.
Hell no, that nigga hit the corner, nigga. We lighting his ass up.
Nah.
Get down with that nigga.
No. No. Not tonight. You ain't getting no fair ones. Ain't no fair one on Sunset. Ain't no fair ones. Nah, he would have died that night. He'd have died. And it took everything. And I hate to be like pumping it up.
They never got out, and they never.
Hell no.
Like,
hell no.
Bluffing. Like,
and I don't want to pump it up like we just some cowboy type niggas. But we were just niggas like I'm nigga. I'm not scared of no squab. I'll squabble a nigga tonight, and I ain't squabbed in a while. A nigga might beat me up, but I'm going to take that because it's like, why would I be afraid of a fight? But one thing I'm not going to do is feel like a nigga, like I'm not going to let you show off and hang out. Nigga, this nigga half his body out the fucking Escalade with his arms all big, pointing. Nigga, I'm going to get, nah, nigga, no. You're not getting down with nothing. Nigga, I'm going to put you in the hospital. Nigga, I'm a if that nigga would have hit the corner, nigga, oh, may God be my witness, I was going to let the whole shit ride.
Exactly.
The whole shit ride on it because I'm like, nigga, you fool, because I'm a nigga. I ain't looking for no trouble. But if a nigga be extra with the trouble and I'm already ready, I want to make an example out that nigga. Even if he didn't die or maybe his friend did, I want him to regret his decision. Like, damn, I didn't have to be that extra out. Them niggas wasn't even really on that. But exactly. If I was, so that's my whole thing. That's why I'm like, hell no, nigga, boom, 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 boom. Like, fuck you.
Like, he would have got lit the fuck up. He'd got lit the fuck up. Like, we like he said, we was never one of those, some of those niggas that, like, look for problems.
We're not looking for,
like,
we only about the
bitches and shit like that. But we born and raised in Los Angeles, so we know better than to come outside, nigga, without our hammers. Like, we stayed with hammers. We kept hammers on us. Like, everybody that know us know we kept hammers on us, and like everybody we fucked with kept hammers. Like,
yeah, they know us. Like, one thing they did know from Vernon to Western is like these niggas right here always got guns. Like, one thing they did know about us, like these niggas carry hammers, and it wasn't, and like
them in the club,
and we one of them niggas that we've been having guns for so long, like a nigga
since
never, it wasn't toys to us. We knew what they could do. Exactly. So like, nigga, I never pulled my gun out just to pull it out or play with it or clean it. Nah, I just had that motherfucker on me because we niggas who lived on the street in the middle of somebody's hood that they didn't like us because we not from over there.
Exactly.
So they, and this is no exaggeration, bro. I hate saying this shit because a lot of niggas, because I never talked about that, nigga, a lot away from the homies and family. But we got shot at so fucking much on our street to the point to where we used to just hide when niggas was shooting and be like, man, I hope these niggas hurry up and finish. That's how much. And like, I didn't go to school the next day and be bragging to the, because a lot of my people, and these is my boys, they wasn't in that kind of life. Like, they wasn't running from bullets and like this had been our lives for our whole life. So it's like it's Mando for us to carry strap.
People would think
it's Mando.
Exaggerating like some of the stories that we got, like people wouldn't believe this shit. Like we don't even we don't even waste our time trying to explain like a lot of the shit that we've been through. But that's what drove us to like always be armed. Like that's why we always kept pistols, because like, you know what I mean, the environment we grew up in,
it was not light. It was not light. And this is another segue into what I want to get into, because I said anytime you seen me with my strap, you'd never seen it, because I never believed in playing with them. But we had a homie. This nigga, man, for some reason, my nigga loved playing with them pistols.
Yes, man.
My nigga loved playing with him. And the homie, he was like us. He ready for the squabble anytime. But he didn't always have a gun. Anytime he had a gun, it was one of ours. But he had his spot was the spot as far as hangouts. We talking about the mid-'90s where niggas was still hanging out on street corners 15, 16 deep.
Exactly.
And that's how we used to be on our street, but the homie Spur, rest in peace, had a mother who rather see us in the house than to see us on the street. So she opened her arms wide for us to hang out at her house. And Spur had his bedroom. We didn't even have to go through his mama's house. We'd walk through the side of their house, go straight up to the stairs, and it led right to his bedroom. So like, nigga, we used to be in that bitch. It was no less than 10 of us every day.
Exactly, yeah.
No less. So one day, we all there, and he lived around the corner from us. So I walk around the corner with the homie Duhan, and I'm like, I had to go get something. And I think I had weed or something. Nigga, I'm like 14 at the time. I'm like, yeah, so boom. We on our way back. Boom, we get to his corner, and I see this nigga running. And there's a certain sound you hear when you know there's something serious, and there's a certain look you see. And from a distance, I can see the look on his face that something, he boning out. He running full speed towards me. So we start running towards him. This nigga come to me, he said, nigga, this nigga Spurtis blew his brains out. I said, what? So I run in his house, I walk up the stairs to Carnage. The homie, while they sitting there, and you can continue the story with me, the homie had the other homie gone, and they're sitting there rolling weed. And what the homie do, man?
Now, he was playing Russian roulette with the gun, like.
But I don't, like, he was.
Yeah, that's what he was doing. Like, I was there.
But why?
I witnessed it all, and like.
You witnessed him take him out, put one in, spin the barrel, point the fucking shit to G's love chest.
Exactly, but like I didn't know that it was one in there. I seen him spinning the cylinder, clicking it, putting it to his head. And I was like...
He did that a few times before he shot himself.
He did that a few times. And I turned around, I was like, hey,
but no, you turned around when he pointed it to G's chest. Yeah. And he pulled the trigger, and G's like went off, and you turned like, hey, nigga, don't be.
Yeah, I was telling, like, I was like... And he was like, it ain't no bullets in here. I seen some bullets on the bed. So, like, I thought the gun was empty. And that's what he was saying. Like, it's nothing in here or whatever. Like, and I was like, still, like, niggas don't feel comfortable playing, like, you know what I mean? Playing with guns. I don't give a fuck if it's empty or not or whatever.
And he said, nigga, ain't nothing going.
Yeah, so, like, we went back to doing what we was doing. I hear him spinning the cylinder again, zzz, putting it to his head. Click. And as soon as I turned around I was gonna take the gun from him, like, nigga, like,
stop doing that.
Stop doing that shit. But as soon as I turned around, he pulled the trigger and it was right on the bullet. He blew his fucking brains out, oh my God, in front of all of us.
We kids at the time.
Like,
he 18.
Yes.
I'm 14.
His mama there, his grandmother there, his brother
there,
his baby brother in the other room.
They came running upstairs with that screech.
Yeah, they hear the shot.
Boom!
You know a fucking gunshot when you hear it.
Especially when it's in a house, the echo.
House, like, yeah, so his mom fucking and his grandmother busting there. They like, what the fuck? They see him on the bed, brain blew out, gun in his hand.
No. What? No.
Yeah.
No, he was gone the second it hit his temple.
The second
it wasn't no fighting. And then, like, I remember you telling me too, before I ran up there, you said you could see his reaction. The gun go off for that split tenth of a second, like he knew he fucked up. He knew he didn't mean to do it. It was that shit.
Like, when he pulled the trigger, like, the last thing I saw was like his eyes get big, like, and that was it. Like it was crazy. Like, his grandmother and his mom busting there, and as you can imagine, like, they went hysterical. Like, we went hysterical.
And I remember we all back there, we tripping, nigga. It's brain matter on the wall. It's blood.
Yeah.
And the police come. Nigga, they had to have 4 cars for us.
Mm-hmm.
They came, they put paper bags over all of our hands and handcuffed all of us and took us all to the station. I'm 14. I'm not even reacting to these cuffs, and, like, I'm, like, not even worried about them putting the blame on us. My whole thing is, damn, this nigga just killed himself. I couldn't, it was like, because at this time in my life, everything was so influential, and he was a big influence on me because, one, he introduced me to East Coast rap, like, hardcore East Coast rap. Like, I was LA nigga to the fullest.
Yeah.
But, like, them niggas is the nigga that said, nigga, it's a new group coming out, nigga, Mobb Deep. Who? Mobb Deep. We rode our bikes, nigga, me, him, Rasta, Corey, to the Beverly Center to steal the Shook Ones single. Also that night, we got the Big Papa single, which had the B-side of Who Shot Ya?
Mm-hmm.
This is my introduction to hard hip-hop. So they was playing that kind of music for me, and because they liked it, I liked it. He was the first nigga that had the Outkast album. He used to be flying down our street doing 80 in his Mama Central, and he only played one song. You gotta get up, get out, and get something. And to me, so like he introduced me to that kind of shit. And on top of that, them niggas was graffiti artists.
Oh yeah.
But like this is, you know, when graffiti niggas was hanging with gang niggas, so like they graffiti niggas. Half the niggas is gang niggas. We real life thugs out here. We might scribe on a window, but like nigga, we with everything everybody else with. And my nigga also was like, nigga, this polo shit.
Exactly.
This polo shit, this what we do. And that's when my introduction to polo, I knew what it was, but I didn't know the seriousness of it. Till that nigga handed me the Source magazine, and I read that article about the East Coast lowlives, and we was the West Coast version of that. We spent many days going to these malls.
Niggas spurring roster, cause them niggas is the ones who really sparked that polo shit.
They sparked that polo shit in our life, and if anybody know us, they know we polo niggas in real life. We both got polo tattoos. Yeah. There was a time in our life, he's still like that. It was a time in my life where I went over 10 years straight without wearing nothing else, nigga.
Yeah,
I walked in the mall, I didn't know what the other side of the mall looked like, because I only walked to the polo side. I don't give a fuck about any of that other shit.
I went over 20 years without wearing nothing but Ralph Lauren polo.
And like, this was our influence. And like,
the only thing that got me to wearing other shit is when we started making our own shit. Like I got on the Why Not shit. Like, like
American Hustler shit.
American Hustler, like we was part owners of that too.
But like my nigga Spurs,
you
crazy,
feel me?
Because like he was that affected me in a certain way, not to the point to where like I wasn't weak, I wasn't, you know, but it was crazy because I was like, damn. And like, you know, later on that week when we had his funeral, boom, we in a caravan, we riding down that nigga Mama Street. It's 6 cars ahead of me. We hanging out the window. We doing what LA niggas do during funerals. We hanging out the window. We being extra'd out. Before we can even park our cars, we hear, laga. We back at this nigga mama house a week after her son shot himself. She allowed us to have the repast at her house.
Yeah.
Before we can even park, we hear, laga. We jump out the car, and 3 of the homies got shot on the corner coming back for the funeral. Mm-hmm. They all survived, thank God. But the homie Ayek, he got shot. I'll never forget when I walked up on him after he got shot. I'm like, damn. He had a hole in his arm. It went under his arm and through this. I can't remember the fat nigga name.
He got shot in his leg.
Well, he got hit with some shit. Nigga, to this day, I've never seen that much blood. Nigga, when you say a pool of blood, he actually was surrounded by his own blood. He was laying there stiff. And I kept asking him, hey, my nigga, you good? He's sitting there just shot.
Exactly.
And then who else? Troy got shot too,
Exactly.
Troy boy got hit too.
Yeah.
So this is the life that we live. And I'm not glorifying any of this shit. I'm just telling you how and why we are the way we are. This is the shit we experience as kids, all the way to adults. But like I used to go to his mama house and give, you know, my blessings. I love her to death. I love, you know, Luke King and Varda and their whole family. Tasha, all them, and it's like, but fuck that, it had to be traumatizing for his mother to lose her son, and then while she's mourning her son, for these niggas to come over here again and this shit again. Yeah. And I never forget the speech that nigga Rasta gave at the funeral, because like, I've been going to funerals my whole life, and I'll never forget when my grandfather died in '87. I walked up to his casket, and I looked, and he was gray. I kissed him on his forehead, and he was freezing cold. And like, as a 7-year-old, that spun me. I'm like, damn, this nigga death. And I was like, man, I ain't fucking with these funerals no more, man. I ain't going on no more.
Yeah, I got so many.
There was some funerals, family members I skipped, but like I had to go to Spurs. And like this whole time, like I didn't shed a tear because you know, nigga trying to still play hard. Plus, it's like nigga, you used to it. But nigga, I remember when I looked in that casket and I saw Spur. He looked so different that my body couldn't control it. I started bawling, crying, because I took one look at that nigga, and that wasn't my nigga in the casket. And they sewed that hole up weird. Like, you can still see the hole, and I lost it. And Rasta told a great story at the funeral. He used to wear his hair natty and shit, hats. He came to the funeral with a clean cut. It's the first time I ever seen a nigga with a clean cut. He got up there, and he gave his condolences to his best friend. Just for a few years later, for Rasta, who gave his condolences to Spur, to go out the same way. Like, my nigga Rasta was a factor out here as far as graffiti. He was Rasta One from Notorious Kings. And there was a crew that started writing The Only Notorious. And my boy from Notorious, like, who the fuck is these niggas talking about they the only? So he started whacking these niggas out. Nigga, fuck y'all. This is the only nigga Notorious Rasta. And I don't know if I was on my way to his house or I had just left his house. I probably just left. I know I seen him that day. And I still regret this to this day because I'm with this dumb bitch. I'm at a nail shop right around the corner from my house. And back then I used to smoke. And my thing when I smoked, I didn't like smoking by myself. I needed to smoke with people. And I had a blunt roll. And I'm going into McDonald's. I see him and Troy. I never forget that nigga had on a Vince Carter Raptor jersey. That's how good my memory is. And Spurs, Rasta and Troy, they on bikes. So I'm like, hey, what's up, my niggas? We chatting and they woo. And they pull off on their bike and I walk to the car. I'm like, oh, shit, I got a blunt. I couldn't get in contact with him. Well, the next day, this nigga called me and like, nigga, I don't know how true it is, but man, I just heard that Rasta got killed. I'm like, nah, man. Like, I'm on my way to his house today. He ain't dead. Sure enough, my nigga got killed that night. I seen him on that bike. He was on his way to his house. Had 2 baby boys. Shout out to Elijah and shout out to Lil Array. And one of them niggas, he was whacking out on some graffiti shit, saw him and was like, aren't you Rasta? He said, yeah. That nigga whipped out. They squabbled. He squabbled the nigga, right? And the nigga whipped out and the homie took off. He was with another homie. And the nigga shoot at him, chasing him down. He hit the homie a few times and hit the homie in the leg and the homie fell. Instead of that nigga just like, yeah, that nigga ran over there, stood over the homie, gave it to him. That nigga was a block away from his family. His wife told me she could hear the shots. And it was true. The nigga who gave the great eulogy at the homie Spur funeral, who was his best friend, died behind a gun too, less than 5 years later. And it was just like, yo, this is crazy. And, you know, man, I'm not trying to kill the mood, you know what I'm saying? But, like, I'm just telling y'all, motherfuckers be wondering how you can stay sane. And I still be questioning that shit, too, because I'm like, damn, a nigga that been through so much trauma in my life, in our lives, where it's like certain people couldn't handle that. But, like, nigga, nah, man, you gotta be a bigger person.
It was normal everyday living for us.
It's normal.
Crazy.
It's normal.
Yeah,
but
normal
one thing I can say that really fucked me up, bro, is me really believing it's normal. Because, like, it is, but it ain't.
It ain't.
Because, like, we talk to our people, yeah. But now that I have a family of my own, and I got friends from that side, and the friends that they know, nigga, they grew up totally different than us.
Oh, yeah.
So for me to think it's normal, but then, like, you meet these people and, like, they don't know none of that. You like, hold on, wait. So this shit ain't normal. I'm just in a fucked up situation.
It was normal for us in the environment that we was in. And, like, you know what I mean? Like,
you're right.
But, nah, it wasn't.
But then
in the era it was too, like, you know what I mean?
It was,
like,
we talking the 90s and early 2000s.
This was in the killing era.
I know.
Sure.
I know. And I wish I could end this on a better note. Let me see.
I can end this on a good note by saying shout out to, like, all the niggas that Like, cause it's different now. Like, we can go to stores and we can go to places that we couldn't go to back
Never.
in the 90s and the
No.
early 2000s.
No.
You know, shout out to all the niggas that, you know what I mean? Like, niggas is like really like on some grown man shit now.
They
Like, you know
are.
what I mean?
They
Like,
are.
It's different.
It's
Like, you know what I mean?
different.
Like, it's more about respecting where you at, respecting who you around.
Don't be with
and
the extra.
shit like that. Like, but like, yeah, we can go places that we couldn't go back in the day. We can go to parks and shit. Take our kids to parks that we couldn't take them to back in the day, because out here in Los Angeles, every park is represented by a gang. Like,
and if you're not from there, you don't go there.
Yeah, every park
That's
is
crazy you said that, because I was at Centinela Park yesterday.
exactly.
You know what I was doing there? I was with my girl, and we were letting our dogs run around to get exercise.
Back in the day, this was like
We talking about Centinela Park. If you know LA, there's a cool-ass gang called the Centinela Park family.
exactly.
And I was there yesterday, so that's really true. We can go places now. I don't know, it's because we at a certain age to where niggas see us and they be like, these niggas ain't with that shit. But like, you think as a 20-something-year-old right now, we will still be able to go to these places? I don't think so. I don't know, because I don't be seeing niggas out like that.
Yeah, because it's different now.
It is.
It's
Niggas don't be out.
different than it was then.
The 90s was wild, man.
And a lot of it stemmed from like the music. You know what I mean?
The
like
music different.
The like Bloods collaborating with Crips,
YG,
and Neighborhoods, and this and
they
that.
not
and
doing
the
that.
other, like, I mean, but
that's not a thing. But the Bloods and the Crips is a thing. But I remember when Schoolboy was on, was that YG song? And he was with the extras, and they hit the homie. Rest in peace, Nip. There was a real one out here that's really one of our homies. He was supposed to be on that song. And he heard Schoolboy verse, and he said, nigga, I'm not getting on that, remember? Because Schoolboy, what he say, he give it up on that song. I love that nigga Schoolboy. That nigga hard. But he was giving it up. Fig side, orange this. Okay, with all that shit. And like, Nip like, nah, nigga, I ain't touching that. Nip was at the point in his career where he like, I'm in the music. But that song, he said he wasn't touching it, and I don't blame him. But yeah, the Bloods and the Crips do collaborate now, and it's man, these niggas don't understand how good they got it.
Yeah, it's a lot of not just Bloods and Crips,
niggas about their money,
like areas and hoods that's like been deemed enemies for eternity. Like, you know what I mean? Like niggas collaborating on the music and stuff like that. So I know that's where a lot of the peace treaty shit stem from.
I love it.
And shout out to, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to you niggas that's keeping these streets calm.
Exactly.
Because you niggas is products of big homies that tell you all of these stories. And for you little niggas that's still out here banging to like be calm, we want to shout out you little niggas, man. Shout out all you little young 30s, 20s, 40s, 60s, Black P Stones, VNGs, any nigga that from these Inglewood, these is reputable sets where you from here, you stay there. You don't go to Crenshaw, you Inglewood family. You don't go to Fig if you 60. Nigga, you don't go to Avalon if you East Coast. But now we got it to where now niggas, and I think it's the youngsters, because now I think there's so much money out here away from the bullshit to where these niggas be on their money thing first. And then that gang shit. But we talking about when we was kids with gang, that's all it was.
Yeah, it's money.
It's money.
It's family and money.
Over everything.
Like, over everything now. When, like he said, back in the day, it was hood business.
This is
business
all I
over
know.
Everything.
That's it.
Period.
Nothing else matters.
You know what I'm saying?
Fuck that shit.
But like, yeah, shout out to all the grown men out here.
Shout out to the grown-ups.
That's like, you know what I mean?
And we're going to have to do a part 2 of this, because I have a list of other stories I am dying to tell, but like some of them are funny, some of them are like real heartfelt, and how I talked about that Spur and Rasta shit. That's why any nigga that know us, they always hear us say, on Spur and Rasta, on Spur and Rasta. Because we telling the truth, and them is our niggas.
Yeah, those are
and them is just 2 niggas out of 200 that we know that lost their lives, but like we always get them. We keep them niggas in our mouth, and Yeah, man, we're going to come back and do a part 2 of this. Story times from the Why Not podcast, man. Let's get it.
Let's get it.